In recent years, the city of Harare has been riddled with allegations of corruption, mismanagement, poor service delivery, and many other negative things. And it is the capital of our country, Zimbabwe. And the government has not been pleased with its state of affairs to the extent that His Excellency the President has appointed a commission of inquiry to inquire about what's going on there. And we are delighted to have His Worship the Mayor of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume, to answer some of the questions about why things are not going the way they should be. Welcome to Ikonomi Forum.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, John Mafume.
Yes. With all these things that I've mentioned, your worship, seems things are not going well or have not been going well for some time. Where have you been sleeping on your job?
Well, I would say that Harare is a city where everyone expects. Everyone has an opinion on how Harare is to be run. Admittedly, there are certain things that have not gone as they should, and we could do better in many of the aspects. But I would want to point out at the outset that in the past year, we've been able to do a lot in terms of Harare. We've hosted the recently just held SADC Summit in Harare. 16 head of states and their delegations came to Harare and left without incident.
But away from SADC, still you are struggling with service delivery. No water, no electricity, and poor roads. If government does not intervene, you are now filling up potholes with soil and so forth, which means that still you are lacking.
Yeah, we are lacking. There has to be cooperation. Remember, there are 3 tiers of government. We are government. That is central government, and there is provincial government. So it's a difference without a difference. Because we are all in government. Once they've put you in government together, it means you must deliver to the people together. There is a role for local government, there's a role for central government. And the art is not to compete against each other, but it is to find the best way to complement each other. And we found the best way to complement each other because of an external event, which was SADC. But we must not throw away the lessons of SADC. We must then adopt it to, if we can use it to roads, the issue should be, let's use it to refuse, let's use it to water, let's use it to lighting. It must not be a competition. We are supposed to relieve the residents. We must be able to find areas where we can work together for the benefit of the residents and citizens.
Your Worship, let's go to specifics now that we've got you on this program so that residents and others coming to Harare know exactly what you're doing. When are we going to have the water problems disappear, electricity problems disappearing? Let's start from there before we go to others.
Well,
we'll go to waste management.
The biggest pain point for any settlement is the issue of water. That's everyone, it's the reason to live, it is the sustenance of life. Ironically, we have plenty of water as the city of Harare in our reservoir. Lake Manyame is 89% full. Lake Chivero is 97% full according to the Zino statistics. And even if we were to do an margin of error of 10%, that's still a lot of water. So what it means is that we are not taking or are cleaning enough water for the residents, yet our bodies have over 24 months supply of water. The only 2 dams we have decommissioned are Lake Arawa Dam and Seke Dam, where we have Prince Edward Waterworks. There the water is finished. But with the water we have in Lake Manyame, if we were able to produce and purchase enough chemicals to run Morton Jeffrey and also put another plant on Lake Manyame and repair the tunnel that draws water from Lake Manyame to Lake Chivero, we have already got divers there that are installing 4 pumps that were bought by the city of Harare, and once they install those 4 pumps, we can then get more water from Lake Manyame, which water is cleaner and uses less chemicals to use, and we mix it with Lake Chivero. Then we will have water. So we are in discussions with the committee that has been set up by government to do exactly that and give those solutions.
Very briefly, Your Worship, are you giving any timeline? Because this has gone on forever. Are you saying by the end of the year?
By the end of the year, our target is, in terms of our results framework, we should be at around 500 megalitres per day. Once we get to 500 megalitres per day, we will have sufficient water, or at least 4 days supply for every suburb in Harare.
That's our guest. He is Worship, the Mayor of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume. He is talking about service delivery, waste management, and other issues affecting the city. So join us in the second segment of Economic Forum. We are now in the second segment of Economic Forum, where our guest today is His Worship, the Mayor of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume. Your Worship, according to the National Development Strategy 1, one of the things that has to improve is the lighting, and which you have to provide as the city of Harare. And we now have rehabilitated roads, but the lighting still remains poor, which means that we are not fulfilling that part of the strategy. How far have you gone in order to do that?
Well, we've gone some way to providing light. As you know, recently I commissioned some lights in the avenues area, bringing much happiness there. And then also we need to think outside the box as far as lighting is concerned. We have a lot of sun and we could use solar a bit more. We have a contract to do 1,500 lights for Harare. The total sum of lights that we need for the city of Harare is around 58,000 street lights. And then, of course, we have tower lights and so forth. But what we need to do is to say, let's think outside the box. The city, we are exploring having a solar power plant ourselves, probably a 50 megawatt or 100 megawatt, so that at least we can get light cheaply and have an exchange with ZESA. As you know, we as the City Council used to run the Harare power station. And I do understand that if we were to get the mandate to go back into energy using solar and other environmentally friendly, we would do that. And then, you know, with infrastructure, it takes a bit of time to build. We are improving the lighting, we are improving the pavements, we are putting benches and just making the ambience of the capital city better. But we also have to change the habits of our people. People are prone to destroy things. People must understand that infrastructure is as good as the people it is designed for. And we should take care of the infrastructure that is there so that at least we can have a city where people can enjoy and be safe without ugliness around them.
Yes. Moving from there, let's look at waste management. There is a lot of waste in the city, in particular the high density areas. I know in some of the low density areas we've provided some vehicles which are picking up the litter, but going to high density areas, it's litter all over. When are you going to make sure that that litter is nowhere to be seen?
Well, it has been declared a national disaster by the president, and in line with that and also the call to action, we are coming up with innovative ways of dealing with litter. We are going to partner the private sector to assist in the collection of litter from the streets of Harare. We are also going to move towards increasing the equipment that we are using. We recently bought dedicated trucks, 5 new trucks, to the western suburb, and we chose them using the percentage of payment. So those who we were highest paying, we then gave them a truck. And we also got about 52 tractors, courtesy of the Minister of Agriculture from Belarus, and we are going to buy trailers for these tractors so that we go back to basics. As you know, when you grow up, tractors were being used. At the same time, we are also going to buy new equipment to be able to deal with the dumps and also to regularly collect litter from the residents. And another aspect is we need to sort our litter. A recycling culture has to come back to Zimbabwe, glasses in their own, metals in their own, biodegradable, and paper in their own bins. And then we need to understand that in other countries they are actually buying litter to convert it to energy and to recycle it into many other goods.
With all these efforts, are you also managing to arrest some of the diseases that have fallen on Harare? We've had cholera, and there are other threats that can come over if we're not very careful. Are we safe in Harare?
Yes, you're very safe. We have improved dramatically. We've got, we are the first point of call in terms of all infectious diseases at Wilkins and Beatrice. We managed to deal with cholera. Regrettably, there were some fatalities in Harare, but there were not as many as was suffered by neighboring countries and the big cities. We were able to create mobile clinics, deal with the cholera issue, and target water to those areas. We were also recently able to deal with COVID more successfully than many other countries, and we are also prepared to deal with any infectious disease, pox, or whatever it is that is coming. We've got a tracing regime that is able to trace every cholera outbreak. If somebody gets cholera, we're able to trace where they got it, isolate the place, decontaminate it, and make everyone safe around that place. So we are very, very clear that we are ready. Yes, we need more. We need to invest a bit more, modernize our methods, modernize our equipment, but we are getting there, and we have been able to protect the citizens of Harare in a big way.
And you've also drilled quite a number of boreholes to the extent that some of them are actually becoming a danger because of the contamination. Is it something that you are paying attention to now that you said we still have enough water in our reservoirs?
Yes, we are. The boreholes are regularly tested. Those that become contaminated, we isolate. We are looking at methods of treating the water as it comes from the borehole, solar energy, and also making sure that people are not affected. But we hasten to add that our mandate is to provide water to everybody, potable water coming from the reservoirs. And that is what we are going to try and do. Just recently, we commissioned 3,000 water taps for Hopley residents, and they are getting water. We hope to do 12,000. We are now delinking water from legality. Even if your place is going to be found illegal at a later stage, we are taking a rights approach towards the provision of water, because cholera and other diseases do not ask the legal status of a resident before they decide to make that resident sick. So we are moving on a work plan that should deal with these issues.
His Worship, the Mayor of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume, is our guest today, and we are discussing a variety of issues affecting the city of Harare, including some of the concerns that have been raised on various platforms by the residents. So join us in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. In order for a city to successfully execute its mandate, the residents have to pay for the activities. Is that the case, Your Worship? Are people compliant? Are they paying their rents or their rates, or are they still complaining about you not billing them properly?
Yeah, we are stuck in a chicken and egg situation. We are the only service that is providing a post-paid service. People want the council to give them the service first before they pay for it. And only 40% in the whole of Harare are paying for that service. And others, we have to pursue them using the courts and other unorthodox means of paying. So we can't. For you to phone, you need to pay for airtime. For you to go on TikTok, you need to pay for data. And that is how people should view service provision. Because once we we get to that point, we will then be able to ensure that it's cheaper for everyone, because a whole lot more people will be paying, and we'll be able to make it more consistent and more reliable than what it is. In the old days, the ZESA bill used to be linked with the rates bill. I'm in discussions with the Minister of Finance, Minister of Energy, and the Chief Executive of ZESA that we need to relink the ZESA bill with the municipality bill, so that at least we can up our percentage of paying, so that once people get into the habit of paying, it becomes cheaper for everyone, and you have a reliable service, and we can get modernity.
While you are there, Your Worship, the other problem that you were facing is the fact that even those in the corporate world were not paying for their bills, and you were chasing them up. Have you been successful?
Well, the success is limited. That is why I said we are stuck in a chicken and egg situation. You provide the service, you have to use money to chase someone to pay. And sometimes when it is paid, the value is different from when you offered the service. So it then affects the whole economy of the country, because Harare is the capital city. So we need to be clear about what a city is. It is about the residents pulling their resources together at the highest possible number to get an affordable service.
Idleness is one of the problems facing a capital city like Harare, and some say that it's because those yesteryear recreational facilities that you had as the city of Harare are now not being used. There isn't much going on there, and as a result, the young people are not able to keep themselves busy in a creative way, and hence they are going into drugs.
Yeah, that's a very big problem. Zimbabwe had a sports pedigree. We almost go to the top for every sport that we do: soccer, golf, cricket, swimming, hockey, boxing. We have had names, marathons, etc. What Zimbabweans try, they normally achieve. But what we need to do as a city is to revamp that infrastructure that allowed our youth to sign. The swimming pools. We've got 13 swimming pools. We need them all working. Soccer fields. I'm happy that Rufaro is back, and very soon we are going to be hosting international matches in the Rufaro Stadium. We're going to bring Gwanzura back, Mafume Ground 1, DZ Ground. We are all going to bring them back, and there are private actors that are also doing the stadium. Cricket is coming back in a big way. Rugby, we are going to make Gwanzura a multi-purpose ground. Gyms, we are going to bring back the gyms, boxing rings, even in boxing right now, we even have a Zimbabwean who is excelling in UFC in America. So we are a sporting nation. We've got a sporting pedigree, and us as administrators do not have, we must do our facilities in such a way that our young people can bloom, can have discipline, and stay away from drugs. This past Olympics, we had 2 Zimbabweans in the 100-meter race, and that is a massive inspirational achievement which must cascade to the grassroots, so that we can find more people who can do sports. So Harare, the city of Harare, was and is the backbone of sports in this country, and we are going to work flat out to ensure that we use sports to fight the drugs, and also to create what I'm calling a sports economy.
If you were given an opportunity of addressing foreign business people who want to invest in Zimbabwe, Harare in particular, what would be the main points that you would put across as the mayor of Harare to say, come to Harare because of this?
Harare is the safest place to invest. You have a dedicated workforce, educated workforce, licenses are easy to get, offices are there to be had, your children will have the best schools, you will have the best shopping, you are a flight away from the other big cities. It is strategically located to make sure that your business succeeds. It is one of the best cities in the world, and it has produced big companies, billionaire companies in US dollars. So there's every case for one to invest in Harare than anywhere else in Southern Africa.
So which one would you say is the first port of call as you enter Harare and you are coming to invest? Like in government, you go to the investment company or to SIDA. Yeah, how about City of Harare?
Well, we've got a one-stop shop. We've got a business committee as the City of Harare, and we've made it a one-stop shop, and we are symbiotically linked to the government investment arms, ZIDA, and any other regulatory authorities. What they agree with you is what we will also agree with you. We have reduced the red tape and we want business to succeed.
Well, Your Worship, from Mayor of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume, would like to thank you very much for coming to Economic Forum.
Thank you so much for having me.
Viewers, if you'd like to get in touch with us about things that we discuss here, including our discussion here with His Worship the Mayor of Harare, Jacob Mafume, you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. If you'd like to engage on some of the issues again which we discuss here, issues of water, electricity, waste management, and other service delivery issues, again, you can do so on the social media platforms that are reflecting on your screen. If you happen to have missed some of the episodes of Economic Forum, you can actually watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So on behalf of our guests, His Worship the Mayor of Harare, Jacob Mafume, and the technical crew, this is John Masugu wishing you happy viewing.